What's up, guys? Welcome to Smash It, the show we made up to arbitrarily find a way to talk about movies some more and to waste a lot of our company's money on these commemorative plates.
We love these plates. And with that in mind, we're going to talk about the good and the bad of video game movies. If there's more good than bad, then it's going to go on the Hutch of Honor.
Hutch of Honor.
If there's more bad than good, then we're going to smash it, Yoshi.
Do the points matter? No. Just watch the show.
Are there any good video game movies? The short answer is no.
Video game movies are really bad because they simulate the experience of watching someone else play a video game. Although that is pretty popular these days.
Video games kind of require your participation in the story, whereas the movies kind of take that element away from it.
They're supposed to be played out over dozens of hours, and now you try to take that and squeeze it into a short movie.
There are not deep characters or storylines. It's just an excuse to have people shoot or punch each other.
I mean, it's like the most flimsy, soulless excuse for a property that you can have. It's like, I have this thing about a guy who jumps, and now I have to make a movie about it.
There's infinite options in a lot of these games, and you have to commit to one storyline and actually just tell that.
This can't be Manhattan. Where is this place?
The worst video game movie has to be Super Mario, just because it was such a letdown to what it could have been.
What's going on? I don't really know. There's this guy, his name is Koopa, and he's looking for this princess.
Super Mario is such a bright and fun video game, and they just decided strangely to go completely dark and realistic and weird. It just did not work.
I felt like halfway through the movie I walked into the wrong theater, because nothing that was on screen felt like Super Mario Brothers.
He didn't grow bigger from a mushroom. He wasn't walking around knocking his head into question mark boxes getting coins.
I don't think you can ground Mario. What are you trying to do?
The Mushroom Kingdom is like steampunk for some reason. I don't know why they decided that the best way to do a Super Mario Brothers game was to put it in Blade Runner.
I feel like I have to wipe the grime off of my computer screen if I'm watching the Super Mario Brothers movie. It just looks dirty and gross.
These pipes have been serviced for years. Must have been a non-union job.
Bob Hoskins as Mario and John Leguizamo as Luigi.
Do I believe them as brothers? No. Do I believe them as plumbers? No. Do I believe them as video game heroes? No.
Wow, there were dinosaurs in Brooklyn? Relax, Luigi. There used to be Dodgers here, too.
I would even like, real actual New York Italian guys. Bob De Niro as Mario. You turtle my pipes. You turtle my pipes.
Goombas looked weird. Koopa looks weird.
In the games, Yoshi's so cute, and then they made him this really generic dinosaur.
If Mario the live action movie isn't gonna work, just stick with the cartoon series with Captain Lou Albano.
I gave him the wrong recipe. Can you change him back, Elvira?
How do you even make a story out of the nothingness that is Street Fighter? The answer is, and if you'll see in the movie, you'll realize you don't.
Anyone who opposes me will be destroyed.
Colonel, you can't!
Oh yes, I can.
Oh boy, have I seen the Street Fighter movie.
I very much enjoy Street Fighter the movie. I know most people do not. I think it is delightful.
That's exactly what I wanted you to think. Yes!
Yeah, so this is the plot of Street Fighter. There are 25 Street Fighter 2 Turbo characters, and they all have to be in this movie.
Vega had a mask and a claw like Wolverine. That's all I cared about when I saw the movie.
Street Fighter as a cohesive universe doesn't work. You got guys spin kicking cars in the middle of the street.
Perfect.
Is there Street Fighter insurance policies? If a dude in a karate gi comes and kicks the crap out of your car, we'll give you such and such on your deductible.
Clearly, Jean-Claude Van Damme is having a good time.
You have made me a happy man.
Next, I'll make you a dead one.
Stellar American Jean-Claude Van Damme makes a speech about how the war has been canceled.
We can all go home.
And then convinces people to go into battle with him anyway?
Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
You know, you've got Raul Julia. He's classically trained as M. Bison. He sure as isn't saving this movie.
The day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
If you haven't turned to someone since you've seen that movie and been like, but for me it was Tuesday, like I don't know what to tell you.
That was Raul Julia's last performance.
But if you're gonna go out doing something silly.
Game over! over!
Mortal Kombat!
Dun 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 dun.
Bang, 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 bang.
That song starts, you're just gonna start fighting people.
I think I had that as my ringtone for about 2 years.
If you're dancing to the Mortal Kombat theme, you are a virgin.
You have been chosen to defend the realm of Earth in a tournament called Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was a pretty well-received movie.
Mortal Kombat is actually not too terrible.
The first Mortal Kombat was an A+.
That is actually legitimately a very good movie.
It's not that good. It's really not.
The characters felt like the characters I would fight on the video game. It felt like I was dropping quarters into a machine, which is what my friends and I did for most weekends.
I played Mortal Kombat because I had a big brother and I was always trying to look tough.
Oh, I played the hell out of Mortal Kombat as a kid. It was a legend on the playground. Like, did you hear about this movie where you could decapitate somebody with one punch?
Fatality.
Why is that movie not rated R? If any movie should have been rated R, it should have been Mortal Kombat.
Raiden is amazing. Talk about an accent.
One of them's a forsaken land called Outworld, ruled by an immortal who has crowned himself emperor.
Sub-Zero and Scorpion were obviously very fun, even though they didn't really have too much to do. Liu Kang was great. Kitana was tranquil. Sonya Blade was amazing. I think Johnny Cage kind of stole that movie because they gave him most of the funny stuff to do.
You guys are lucky he stopped us.
Are they on an island? Are they in some alternate dimension, mystical land? It's very, very unclear.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Sonya Blade, this woman who's been like kicking ass for the whole film, is suddenly kidnapped in the end of it. And she's in this weird, short, Grecian-looking dress.
Nice dress.
In the 90s, women would get kidnapped, and then the next time we saw them, they would be in a new dress. Who put them in that dress? It's very, very concerning to me.
The first Mortal Kombat has a couple really good martial arts sequences in it. Like, I stand by that Johnny Cage Scorpion Forest fight that goes into hell and then they're like flipping off stuff.
I really love how they stayed faithful to the video game in the most important way possible. And that is when Johnny Cage did a split and punched Gordo in the nuts. Federico Fellini could not have done better. That's what Mario directed Mortal Kombat.
There are 12 movies in the Resident Evil series.
6 Resident Evil movies.
Between 7 and 9 films.
I think there are 57.
I believe there are 7 and I cannot name them.
There's the first one, which is just Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 2, Doomsday Clock.
Resident Evil Part 2. Oh, hey, we brought back the chick that's not in any of the stuff.
Resident Evil San Andreas.
Resident Evil Aggression.
Resident Evil Part 5. Evil is still resuming.
Resident Evil be sexy.
Resident Evil Christmas Vacation. Resident Evil, maybe they turn good this time. Resident Evil was one of those video games that I played as a kid at the core of this really great survival horror story was a very interesting science fiction plot about like intrigue and bioterrorism. You know what they did with that plot in the Resident Evil movies? They like took it and they squished it up in a little ball and they threw it in a trash can.
There was one with like a lot of desert scenes and like dead crows that still flew and like were pecking at stuff still.
Second one was Apocalypse, which I believe Mike Epps was in that one. He had like gold-plated 50 caliber handgun. That's all I remember.
I think there are dogs involved. I don't know.
When they come on, if it's on cable, you'll certainly watch it.
God, it's so dumb, but it's hard to stop watching. They're like really sexy car accidents.
Waiting for a written invitation?
Chicks with guns genre. I'm a very big proponent of it.
There is something that's very captivating about watching this incredibly beautiful supermodel fight things.
It's like termites, man. They just won't go away and they tend to pop up every spring and summer.
I remember not hating Tomb Raider when I first saw it.
The movies to me were pretty lazy. They felt uninspired.
I thought they weren't any worse than like National Treasure.
Yeah, in the beginning of Tomb Raider, she's battling like this weird robot that could like do twist and turn. Like if it was playing Twister, you wouldn't have a chance.
I remember, you know, playing the video game, and she was this sort of like fearless, very athletic adventurer. I loved Angie's Lara Croft. She is the perfect female action star. She has a killer braid, she kicks some booty, she looks great in black.
Short shorts, attitude, and guns. I mean, Angelina Jolie was Lara Croft.
I guess she did the role justice. She wasn't really a character, I don't think.
She's not kind of as quippy and as kind of an every person as Indiana Jones.
You know what the difference with Lara Croft and Indiana Jones? It's the accent.
He's a scholar by day, but by night he robs other cultures of their prized artifacts. Whereas Lara Croft is British and a woman.
I think there was like some weird thing in it about her relationship with her dad, who was played by her actual dad.
They have a real life, you know, dysfunctional family, and it's even more sad that their reunion happened on a Tomb Raider movie.
And it's not fair.
No, it's not fair.
I've got 1 round.
Doom was a movie that I kind of enjoyed. You know what? And what I liked about it was The Rock was the villain.
Shut the door.
I mean, I knew The Rock would be a star from wrestling.
Is this going to be the one where people are going to accept that The Rock is going to be now an actor and not a wrestler?
Access denied.
Doom was not it. Doom was really bad. I don't really understand the premise of Doom. I don't know if they're aliens or demons.
They're scary things that come at you, and you shoot a gun at them and there's blood. And then my mom comes in and confiscates that game. That's what I remember from playing Doom.
Is there any way this thing came from the outside, from the surface?
The planet is completely dead.
It came from somewhere, lady.
Portman, shut up.
There's just something really great about early Dwayne Johnson performances where he still doesn't know how to do this, but like, he really wants to, and he's gonna give it his all, even though he's still kind of bad at it.
Whatever this thing is, it cannot get back through the arc.
Love it.
Oh, the POV scene in Doom?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I understand wanting to create an homage to the game. There has to be a better way to do it than just literally be like, huh, here's a video game in your movie. Look what we did. We did it.
To me, that's the one standout moment of that movie. I don't think it would have worked for the whole film. That said, Hardcore Henry was awesome.
I saw Warcraft and I walked out of the theater and I thought, what the f just happened?
I had no idea what was going on. There was mages and orcs and humans and eagles.
How does Duncan Jones go from making Moon to making this piece of shit?
Good for you, you diehard fans. I'm glad you got your film. What?
The Horde has no use for weakness.
There are some really cool moments among the orcs. For some reason, half the movie takes place with some boring-ass humans.
I don't know why they spent like $200 million on the orcs in that movie, and like $200 on the sets for the other part. I will defend Warcraft to the extent that it is not a terrible movie altogether, only the parts with human beings in them. I think you should put that on the poster. I saw Assassin's Creed at the drive-in and I fell asleep during it.
I think I saw Assassin's Creed on a plane kind of drunk.
What you're about to see, hear, and feel are the memories of someone who's been dead for 500 years.
Assassin's Creed is another one of those like story concepts where I'm like, that's cool, like an ancient order of assassins, and they're running around on pirate ships and they're climbing around on churches and punching Leonardo da Vinci in the face or whatever.
We work in the dark to serve the light. We are assassins.
It's like the good version of the Da Vinci Code, and still it sucks. So many good games, great storylines that I played all the way through. I spent 45% of the movie in a laboratory office. Those are my favorite scenes from Assassin's Creed, the part where you walk around the laboratory. Let's do half the movie there.
Michael Fassbender has done so many great films. He's such a good actor. This just feels a little befuddling. The only thing that I can think is that he was such a fan of the game and that he was convinced that this could translate to a great story.
Any impulse towards independence or rebellion will be crushed.
Check it out. I can go back in time and enter my ancestors. I'm gonna stab people in the neck in 1492. White people, if you could jump into your ancestors' bodies, make them better people. Jump into your Assassin's Guild grandpa and make him free his slaves or whatever. You know what I mean?
Who doesn't love themselves a little Pikachu? He's adorable. Is it a he? Is it a girl? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's Pikachu.
I think Pokemon satisfies two things that we really love. Cute little stuff and fighting.
It's basically dog fighting with really cute looking alien animals. It's horrible.
I still remember the trailer for the first movie where they introduced Mew.
It was this whole thing when you were playing the video game of like, can you catch Mew? Can you not catch Mew? I don't know, does Mew even exist? And then finally, we see it on the big screen.
There was a controversy in the last Pokemon movie because there's a scene where Pikachu starts talking.
Why won't you get in your Pokeball? It's because I always want to be with you.
And there are scenes of people watching this in a theater and losing their minds.
It's because
Pokemon also did it right because they didn't do like a big dumb live action movie starring Bob Hoskins as Ash and John Leguizamo as Pikachu. Although now that I'm saying that out loud, I would watch that movie.
Now, The Wizard is a video game movie that I can talk about because I was in the target demographic when it came out. It is about Fred Savage, and his brother is a savant, and he can play video games, and they go to like the World Nintendo Video Game Championships at Universal Studios, and they run around in the King Kong ride. And it has two of the best product placement moments in movie history of all time.
What is that?
Fire from the gods.
I don't know.
Number one, the Power Glove. That thing looked like the most awesome thing in the history of the world.
Power Glove.
It turned children into cyborgs. I mean, what's cooler than that? You have like a robot arm that plays video games.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
I wanted that thing. Every kid wanted that thing.
My excitement for the Power Glove and the Wizard was only matched by my disappointment in getting the actual Power Glove, which was the biggest piece of garbage that Nintendo ever invented.
If the kid from the Wonder Years tells me something's awesome, I'm gonna believe him.
If the job of the Wizard was to sell me the Power Glove, mission accomplished because I bought it and it sucked. But the movie topped itself later. In the final round, they've been playing Double Dragon and Paperboy and all the classic Nintendo games. And then the announcer says, all right, for the final round, you are going to be playing a video game that no one has ever played before.
Super Mario Brothers 3!
I remember I was in the...
A lot of people went to go see this movie just to see what the new Super Mario Brothers game would look like.
Find the warp, dude! Find the warp!
I'm not sure how he knew that there was like the warp flute there without ever playing it before. That's not really how Mario works. It should have been a competitive esport game instead of like a platform, but you know what? It's fine. It was the 80s.
The Wizard unashamedly was a commercial for Nintendo, but by God, it was the best damn commercial that I have ever seen in my life. So good job, Nintendo, and good job, The Wizard. You did your job, you sold me one piece of junk, and one of the greatest video games of all time. So I'm gonna call it a wash.
What a shock! No one likes video game movies. Guess it's game over for this plate. Raw, finish it!
Dun, 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 dun.
The happiest I've ever seen you.